What's up, YouTubers? So before we get started with this video on Get Up, they're going to be talking about Lamar Jackson, and will he be able to go deeper in the playoffs this year? So let's see what they have to say about him.
Quarterbacks get so much blame, and then they get so much adoration when teams win. But ultimately, you look at last year, Lamar, they're running all over the Baltimore defense. Lamar doesn't play defense, right? So you can only do kind of what you're slated to do. He has had an incredible start of his career. I know that he's looking to do bigger things, and I know they want to win football games. But you got to get there first, right? You got to continue doing what he's doing. He is progressing along in his career. I have a ton of respect for what he's done. But when you look at it, playoffs aren't always decided by just quarterbacks alone. I know we love to lump it in there. Timmy especially loves to do that. But at the end of the day, it takes 52 other guys on the team to make this thing go, especially playoff football.
So I completely agree with Jeff Saturday. I'm so glad that he said that. So let's take a quick look at Lamar Jackson's stats during last year's playoffs. So he threw the rock 59 times. He completed 31 of those 59 passes. He threw for 365 yards. His completion percentage is 52.5. He threw 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions, which really killed the game. He was really busy throwing the rock. I mean, he almost threw the rock 60 times. That's a heck of a lot. I always thought that they were trying to prove to somebody or to people that he can throw the rock first and not run first. So that's kind of where he messed up. I'd say the whole team choked. So let's take a quick look at Derrick Henry, how much he ran for. He ran the rock 30 times for 195 yards and for 6.5 yards in average. So I would say the whole team choked. Lamar Jackson choked, the defense choked, everybody choked. So let's continue.
I'm going to go to Kimberly next, but you keep taking shots at poor Tim, so I will give him the next chance at it here. Tim, and I want to make clear what I'm referring to. I'm referring to people putting him in the second tier of quarterbacks, ranking him 6th or 7th in the league after he just had one of the greatest seasons of all time in his second year at the age of, he didn't turn 23 until January, but that's what I think. I don't want to influence you.
Yeah, let's not forget the fact that he's defending MVP.
What do you think, Tim?
Oh, listen, whatever you think about Lamar Jackson, and you said it, your eyes aren't lying to you when you're watching him do the incredible things that he's doing. So whatever you thought about him from his time at Louisville and how he projected in the National Football League, we've now seen him in the NFL, and we've seen what he can do. And trying to justify a point by 2 playoff losses is really an absurd way to create your argument when you factor in what Jeff is alluding to, which is, Derrick Henry rushes for 30 times for 195 yards in a playoff game where the Titans win. Ryan Tannehill throws 14 passes, and Lamar Jackson throws for 360 plus yards, rushes for another 140 plus. Like that, the Ravens didn't lose that playoff game because of poor play out of Lamar Jackson. So I don't think you can minimize it to that. Much like Peyton Manning, if Lamar Jackson can stay healthy and be healthy for the postseason with their style of play, then he's going to win his fair share of postseason games.
And Kimberly, what do you...
Yeah, so I definitely have huge expectations for Lamar Jackson. I mean, that guy is an absolute killer. Like I said, they went 14-2 last year. Things just didn't work out in the AFC divisional game against the Tennessee Titans. But I think this coming up year, the last year was their year to choke and fall apart. But this year, I think they're going to make a strong, very strong push again to making it to the Super Bowl. And it wouldn't be too far off to say that, they might run the table. They could go 16-0 because that's not that big of a reach for going from 14-2 to 16-0. It could happen. It could definitely happen. So let's continue.
Think of my idea here that I'm trying to figure out why everyone seems to want to diminish what it is he's doing. And what I have come up with is the idea that he's made so many people look bad that I think that they're defensive. I don't know if they're doing it on purpose, but I think that they are just not willing to believe what their eyes are seeing because it is so far from what their expectation
haters gonna hate.
Was.
The thing that has always bothered me about the Lamar discussion, the goalposts always move. They always move. It's like, oh, this guy, he should be a wide receiver. He should be a running back. He's not really a quarterback. Then he comes out and he's like, okay, he's showing people that he can actually play the position. He's not what we're used to seeing. And I think people balk at that. But the kid consistently defies expectations. But the minute he slips up, it's like, hey, what did I say? Yeah, Lamar's not very good, is he? And that's been the problem since he entered the league. He's a young kid. He's 23 years old. The window for the Ravens is what concerns me, and his rookie contract. because they've gotten to the playoffs twice and haven't gotten it done, but not simply because Lamar isn't good. The whole team, I was at that game and I watched Derrick Henry run all up and through that defense. So it's really not on Lamar, as the other guys are saying.
Yeah, it's not. And Lamar Jackson, with his next contract, he's probably going to be getting somewhere around Patrick Mahomes' money. So he should be expecting about somewhere in the ballpark of a $500 million contract. So let's continue.
But the expectations for him are so high, and that is unfortunate.
Yeah, I think, Jeff, to sort of put a ribbon on it here, I think there's also the Mahomes effect that is sort of on everything.
Right.
No one is Mahomes. And if you're going to compare anyone to I'm the first one to say, for all the things I just said about Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes is, just as far as pure talent, the best I've ever seen. And I think to some degree, that is also, it hangs over the entire league, because people look at it and say, well, he's not Patrick Mahomes. And, Jeff, in my view, no one is Patrick Mahomes.
No, you make a great point, right? Like, what are we comparing him to? And also think about with what Patrick Mahomes was given when he came in the league with Andy Reid and Eric David and all the different skill position guys he has with him. And you think about Lamar Jackson, they've retooled their entire offense around Lamar Jackson, but that takes time. And then
It does take time, but they can definitely speed up the process if they get Antonio Brown. I'll tell you that much.
obviously we talked about the playoff. He couldn't have played any better in the last playoff game. I don't care what quarterback you are. You're hanging your hat. You're going to win most games with him playing at that level. I think, to your point, the comparisons are unfair. This kid's had a great start to his career, and he will win playoff games in the NFL, no doubt.
Tim,
Oh, yeah, I really like Jeff Saturday. He's a good man, and he's smart, too.
you look like you have something to say. Got 15 seconds. Go.
Well, yeah, I would just say just a little bit of pushback on it somewhat. I think the concern is, especially as we project things forward about how, many opportunities he may have in the postseason is, I think everyone would agree he gets hit too much. He had a season where he was hit over 200 times last year. Cam Newton's never been hit over 184 times in a single season. It's the sustainability and opportunities in the future that I think you can still have a legitimate concern about, even if you believe when he's healthy, he's maybe as good as anybody